What is going on, everybody? Anon here, and we're gonna do a whip around the TCG space. And I did a video 2 nights ago because somebody in Discord had asked me, what the math looks like and trying to turn $10,000 into $100,000. Now, obviously, the $10,000 is a subjective round number, but I did a video on it. I put the math together, and there's some folks that are like, well, you didn't include fees and taxes in this and that. Everybody's going to have their own situation. I just used the gross numbers, and quite honestly, you get there in about 2.5 years, just based on 2025, 2026, not touching Bandai, not touching Pokemon, not buying at distro price, buying at the retail market, retail pricing, and just waiting for things to dry up. And what I've shown is Magic the Gathering is really king right now because your buy-in price is significantly lower than what it is for those other games. And as these things dry up, the prices go nuts. So I'm going to go through a multitude of opportunities here, just kind of talk about why I like them, what I think is going to happen, and how the movie ends. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Commander decks. Everybody hated this product for the longest time. However, if we look at this, and first of all, the expected value on these is $45-ish with a 50-cent SIF floor. We're going to start going through this, and then I'm going to hit you guys with the punchline. So these came out, and the shitty part about this is it was a single deck with 4 copies of that deck in a display. Now, the displays were shorter than what we normally see, but there's a lot of these decks out here. And you might look at the current quantity and say, wow, this is a lot. There were 700 to 800 of these as early as 2.5 weeks ago. So the sell-through on these in the last month is actually quite good. I mean, you can see there were 20 sold yesterday because people are buying them. They're sitting on them. It's actually supposedly a really fun deck to play. But if we look at these, you're now at $55. And distro price on these was $150 for the 4 decks. So these are now strongly profitable. Even if you sell on here, you need 14% in shipping. But if you look here, there aren't a whole lot until you get to $60. You got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 copies, which is basically a day. And now you're pushing $60. So then you start pushing $70. So you might say, okay, well, not a big deal. It's going to eat through this. What about the cases? So if we go to the cases, the displays, there are 11 cases, displays, whatever you would call them, on TCG Player. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're at $250. 2 more, you're at $300, which is absolutely insane. So, I mean, it's like $75 per deck. So these are drying up so fast. I am virtually certain they are nowhere on the print block. First of all, Commander decks are a pain in the butt to print. Based on the discussions from the earnings call for this quarter, they're only going to reprint stuff that they can dump a lot into the market. This does not check any of those boxes. I'm telling you guys, in 2 to 3 months, these decks are going to be sitting at $75, $80. And the sky's the limit, and this is not going to be something that most likely is going to get reprinted for a while. You got to pay attention to it. You could still get them super cheap in volume, but time is starting to run out. So moving on, and we're going to start with Magic. I do have Pokemon one, a couple Bandai ones, and some randoms. So you can see from the chart here, things are starting to recover. This is the Marvel Superheroes Beginner Box, the product that everybody fucking hates. So if you look here, we've sold 1,326 of these. There's 243 on the market. And you can throw this away. You can try to add to this cart. He's offline. $29 is the lowest list on this. $29 for a beginner box, which is absolutely insane. You're going to get into the 30s in a couple days. So this product has held up very, very well. The folks that have played the decks have had nothing but positive things to say about it. It was well developed, well designed, and I think, quite honestly, it was probably a little bit more tightly printed than Avatar. And yeah, I bought a lot of these. I like them. And it was something that you could get from distribution because not a lot of people ordered them. And if we could just go to Avatar here real quick. If we go to Avatar Beginner Box, these things are sitting at $26. Not great. And the expected value on these is not nearly as bad as, it's not as bad as you would think. I'm not sure it's as good as Marvel, because Marvel's like 35, 40 bucks. But 1,884 of these have sold. This has been out for 8 or 9 months longer than Marvel, which is almost at 1,400. So it's worth paying attention to. Now, they're big, they're clunky, they're hard to store. I will give you that. Modern Horizons 3. This has recently sold out at Wizards of the Coast. It is sold out at distribution pretty much everywhere. There's limitations at 2 of them. This is basically the second coming of Commander Masters. This was absolutely dead money forever. It just kind of languished. And then when it dried up, it started to move up. But in the last month, we had 175 boxes sell. There's 109 available. This is going to go parabolic. Let me change this here to show listings without photos. You got 15 boxes here, 9 boxes. Then you're over $300 with shipping. And then you're $340. Then you're $350. This is going to be a $400 box, probably within 2 months. Now, this set came out in, I think, July of 2024. This is going to be one of those sets as it moves up that is going to be in line for a reprint, most likely. Now, while I can't guarantee it, this is a product where Wizards could print 75,000, 100,000 boxes, dump into the market, and the market would accept them. So this, to me, it's a short-term swing trade, but you're probably looking at 30 to 40% margin. Long before this is going to be a 2027 reprint event, most likely. I've seen nothing on the reprint schedule for this, but again, these are the opportunities. These were sub $230 a couple weeks ago. Final Fantasy Commander. This is going to be one of the Granddaddy Commander displays, much like Lord of the Rings, much like Warhammer 40K, OTJ, Karlov Manor, all of those that are sitting north of $500. Now, this doesn't rotate out until 2028, early 2028, and rotation doesn't matter because, again, there are no rules. The only rule is if they can print it to the magnitude where it makes sense for them to print this instead of something else, they are going to do it. The reason I bring this up is most of the distributors are sold out. One of the distributors is getting a sizable restock here in the next couple weeks. But as it's worth paying attention to, because when it's sitting at 180, 170, 175, distro price on this is anywhere between 160 and 168, depending on where you buy it from. So at some point, once WotC runs out, it's time to start accumulating these because these are going to run up to $300, $400 extremely quickly when the market dries up because this set's just phenomenal. And as we move forward, there's going to be fewer and fewer of these. We've already had 2 large reprints of this and dumping into the market. So as it gets older, the reprints get smaller and smaller, and the demand grows and grows and grows. So worth paying attention to. It's too early yet to go all in on it, but it's getting to the point where, if you can get it somewhere in the 170 range with some of these big websites churning spend, you should probably think about it. This is my favorite item in the market right now. Not going to lie. Foundations Jumpstart is sold out at WotC. It is still available at 2 distributors. 3 of them are sold out. So it hasn't spiked yet, but the EV on these is over $100. And there's a lot of sellers here that are sub $100. So, and again, there's 158 in the market. 90 have sold in the last month, but once this dries up, this is going to go right to $150 because people are going to want it. There's singles in here that make a lot of sense, and it has the anime arts in here, which people are going to chase. So again, these items are dead money until they're not, and once they dry up, all of a sudden everybody scrambles to get them. So you can get this cheap. You can get this cheap in volume. But 3 or 4 months from now, this is going to be a 50 to 70 or 150 to $175 booster box. And since it's Jumpstart, you have the inner cellophane and the outer wrapper. I doubt they reprint this one again. It's also a 2024 item. They have Avatar Jumpstart. Now you have Marvel Jumpstart, and you're going to have a Jumpstart next year. I have a hard time believing they're going to print this because, again, it's a cheaper product. It's like $76, $77 from distribution. It's probably not going to make sense. Piggyback on this Foundation's play. Now, again, this is an evergreen product, but if you look here, there's 129 boxes on the market. 202 have sold in the last month. So you're talking 21 days or so of supply. At 160, it's a steal because it's going to be 180, 190 before you know it, because it keeps selling, and it's good product. This is a 36 pack box, by the way. This isn't the current play boxes that are 30. This is 36. It's going to keep moving. Now, we'll probably see another reprint of this, but again, as time passes, they're going to be smaller and smaller reprints, and the market's going to demand them more and more, because as every new set comes out, there is more demand for reprints that are not this one. Edge of Eternities. I want to make an example of this. So this came out, reprinted here. We got a second wave of reprint here, and it dried up so fast. 404 boxes sold in last month, 156 left on the market. The sales velocity of Edge of Eternities is absolutely through the roof. $170 a box. This is going to be a $200 to a $250 box at the blink of an eye. And again, these are all boxes that if they're going to print them, they're going to have to print 50,000 boxes or more. And they can't print them all at the same time, which is what should give you a lot of confidence that if you buy across all these SKUs, maybe they catch you with one, maybe they catch you with two, but for every one that goes from 160 to 130, you're going to have another 2 or 3 that go from 160 to 250. So Magic is king right now. The performance is absolutely phenomenal. Edge of Eternities commander decks, the EV of these is still extremely strong, at least one of the two. They're sold out at 2 distributors. There's still 2 or I think 3 now, or almost the third one. 2 still have a bunch of this. I don't think there's any available in the Wizards warehouse, but once this dries up, and again, this is just the 2 decks, you're going to be back up at $100 in no time. In fact, it's actually started to move a little bit. It was as low as 60. And again, the price on these is 112 for a display of 4. So 2 of each. Again, it's too early. In 3 to 4 weeks, it's time to start looking, especially to get them cheap. So moving on. Let's talk Gundam. Everybody's favorite set. Freedom Ascension. This is GDO5. This is the first anniversary set. We are seeing One Piece all over again. 113 cases. These are 12-box cases. So that is, call it 1,300 boxes. Look here. This just came out on Friday. 1,880 boxes. So we are basically 3,200 boxes sold, and this released 4 days ago. It's absolutely phenomenal. Let's see. I do have these. The fact that this box is now sticking at $200. Now, the second wave hasn't come out yet, but the second wave is going to be smaller than the first wave. And it's not going to come out for a couple months. So if we look at this, look at the card prices. The card prices are absolutely phenomenal. These are best selling. These are LR pluses. Initially, there was supposed to be one LR plus in each set or in each case. I think they're a little bit more rare than that, but there's 5 of them. The value in the set is absolutely freaking insane. Just sort real quick on high to low. I mean, you get 2 pages of cards that are worth over $500. Then you have another, oh my God, a ton of these that are over $100. You know, it's absolutely phenomenal. This is the kind of set that is going to draw people into Gundam. And then guess what they're going to do? They're going to look backwards. Now, if we go to the first set, New Type Rising, this is the first set. I've been screaming about this set since, my God, $150 all the way back here I was buying. We're $425 now. There's 66 on the market. There's absolutely nothing here. I mean, you're 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes from 450, and then you're going right to 500. But you look at the sets in between. Phantom Aria. So this is the most recent main set before the anniversary set. And I just want to talk about the sell-through here. So 251 cases. 251 cases is like 3,000 boxes. It's absolutely crazy. And then if we look at the single boxes, 4,869. So there have been almost 8,000 boxes of this set that have sold through on TCG Player. This is more than or about the same as what normal one-piece sets sell through. So this is it. Once this sells through, this box is going right to $200 because there's been so much of this sold. And again, you could still get the boxes for $113. It was actually $102 a couple days ago. Now you're at $120, and then you're going to go right to $130 and $140. And the sell-through on this in the last month, 722 boxes. There's $299 on the market. Everything in Gundam is going to go parabolic. You probably can't go wrong. Now, we'll talk about this set. So this is the Extra Booster set. This was the Chibi Gundam set. A lot of people didn't like it, but the print run of this was so horrendously low. It was like maybe 25,000 boxes, whereas the regular sets are probably pushing 150 to 200 at this point. Not a lot of boxes sold. Not a lot of interest. But at some point, I think there's going to be. You know, if I can get cases sub $1,500, I would do it. You know, they've been sitting. There hasn't been a whole lot of sell-through here. But again, there aren't a lot of cases left. But if we go to the singles, there's only one single that's worth big money. Everything else is a couple bucks. So I think this is what's been hurting it a little bit. But again, if you're getting one LR++ per case and there's only one, you already have $1,200 of value in the case. So you guys can do the math. It's there's going to come a point in time where there's enough arbitrage where it's worth pulling the trigger. Gundam is going to zoom. I've been telling you guys for 9 months now, and it continues to happen. And this was with sets coming out and boxes going to $90. New set came out and box went to $200, and it held up. So the game's changed. So I want to touch on a couple small ones here. So this is Azure Lane. This set came out the end of 2025. It is a booby set, which everybody likes. There's 118 of these left. There's been 2,000 sold last year, so 83 in the last month. But once you sell through, you're going to hit $75, $80, $85. Now, the thing with Weiss is once you get to $100, they kind of stagnate, and there's not a whole lot of liquidity. But I do want to point it out because we've talked about it before, and this number is key. Frieren, this is a little bit of a different story. So this is the second edition. The first edition was super light printed because nobody knew what the hell it was. So there's 104 boxes. Only 45 sold in the last month. This is going to move up faster because there's not nearly a supply. In fact, I might have the most supply left in the country. There is a Frieren Volume 2. It just released, or it's going to release this week in Japan. It's probably going to come to the US for December. Now, unfortunately, it hasn't hit Netflix yet. It's only been on Crunchyroll, so I haven't watched it yet. But people love it. You go to any anime show, Everybody who goes tells me there's all kinds of Frieren cosplayers. But when that second set comes out, people are going to go back to the first one and say, you know what, I want to own this as well. It's going to be $100, $120 box. It is what it is. And then last but not least, here's our Pokemon one. Destin Rivals Elite Trainer boxes for those of you who have watched the last couple videos. In my opinion, the Pokemon Company is trying to poison the botting well with Destin Rivals Elite Trainer boxes for the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks. They have dropped, based on sources who do the restock notifications, 50,000 plus of these every single week. They have absolutely smashed the price. My understanding is they're supposed to drop another 30,000 tomorrow. But this is the Pokemon Company giving the middle finger to the bot community. Now, what's also interesting is we have not gotten these yet through traditional distribution. So I think they're trying to kill a couple of birds with one stone here. So dumping a ton of product is going to suffocate a lot of botters who are capital poor. It's also going to push the price down. When you push the price down and then you push it out to traditional distribution, they cannot raise the price. So it basically does cut out a lot of the air pocket that's sitting in the pricing. And you can see here, I mean, it spiked up to $275 and now it's $139. It is going to go to $100. So I would not buy it here. I would wait. We have a lot of folks that are here, but there are a lot of folks that bought these that are desperate to dump them. And I believe the cash out server price is like now 95. And since GameStop came out yesterday taking pre-orders for 100, that tells me we're going to get these in distribution, probably $50 to $60 per, if I had to guess, hopefully less. But this is going to go the way of Surging Sparks and Twilight Masquerade ETBs, where it is going to be dead money for a long time. When it breaks $100, it is the time to load up, because you're not going to want to buy it, and it's just going to sit there and it's going to churn. And next thing you know, they're going to go back to 150, then 200, and then it's going to be the middle of 2027, and then we get close to rotation out. So this is going to be your opportunity to get in at a very, very inexpensive and reasonable entry point on Destin Rivals. No, it's not booster boxes, but they are pumping hundreds of thousands of these into the market. So anyway, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Dumpster diving a little bit, but if you want to do the 10 to 100K challenge, join the Discord. We started a little forum. Everybody's tracking their progress here. And again, you got to be patient. This is a multi-year thing. You're just compounding on compounding. And it's also fun to pay attention to this stuff. And you have a little bit of doubt when you do it. Like, hey, week 1, nothing, week 2, nothing, week 3, nothing. By month 3, you start to see things moving in the way that you were confident would, but you had a little bit of doubt. And then all of a sudden, it's kind of like, well, hell yeah, this is what I thought it was going to do. This is what it's doing. All of the time and patience and work paid off. And it's just a lot of fun. So anyway, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord. Have a good night.